Ooh, it is your witchy friend Grace from Small Worlds Big Adventures with a little Spooktober announcement before our review of the heart-stopping board game Grindhouse. This week and next week, we'll be giving away a game from our personal collection. This week's game is Forbidden Island, a razor-edge cooperative game about hunting for treasures on a sinking island. To qualify, you must live in the United States and comment on at least one video this week, October 15th through the 21st. We'll then randomly choose a winner from the comments. Also, everyone who comments throughout the month, the 1st through the 30th, will be entered for a brand new copy of Horrified, a maddening cooperative board game with iconic monsters. We will then announce the winner by commenting on one of the person's comments and announce on each Sunday's video who has won. The more videos you comment on, the greater your chance to win. So let us know your thoughts on each game. All right. Hi, I'm Gracie, and this is Scott from Small Worlds Big Adventures. And today we are going to be reviewing Grindhouse.
Yeah, Grindhouse is a board game for 2 to 6 players. Plays in about 20 to 30 minutes, kind of dependent on how many players you have, but it's a quick game. The game is sort of out of print. It looks like they run a Kickstarter now every year, or at least that last couple of years, which you can get it for about $60. As of recording this, I think there is a current Kickstarter just ended, but you're still taking orders. So it is gettable at any rate. Set up, tear down, about 5 minutes, especially if your card decks are all together in the box, which ours are.
As they should be.
As they should be. Ask us about the tape we have.
Scott, how's Grindhouse play?
Grindhouse plays, you have a character who can take damage to their limbs, their arms and their legs, their torso and their head. Once your torso or your head is taking too much damage, then you're dead. A group of characters are going through 5 different rooms that will basically slowly or quickly damage or kill you. And whoever makes it through the last room is the winner. If multiple people make it, then the more intact your body is, the more points you get and the better you survive. But even if you die, you have an ability as a ghost that usually can damage the other players, but also gives you a win condition that allows you to win as well. It plays real quick. It's basically kind of a story-driven, you make a couple of choices or roll some dice and take some damage. The game is gory.
Very gory.
For a board game, it's gory, so, buyer beware, I guess.
The premise is that, the reason you guys are there is because it's a competition to win $10 million. So I'm curious, what is the price point that you would risk your life in an exercise like this?
Oh, probably nothing.
Yeah, that also me. Also me. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I like
not
my
after playing this game a few times.
No. But if you have a price point, let us know down below.
Yeah.
When we score our board games, we do it on a 5-point scale from terrible, bad, mixed, good to excellent. To kick it off, we're going to talk about player agency, which I thought was bad. The reason I felt that way is not even aside from, there's a few choices where you get to volunteer for things, but other than that, it's left up to a dice roll, or you just die, and there's no choice about it.
I also put bad with kind of like asterisk on it. It's kind of not that type of game anyway.
It is not.
This category, especially for this game, just doesn't kind of make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. The concept of the game is kind of a social game where you're either making a choice or as a group you're making a vote. So there isn't really a lot of options for you to do stuff. You do have items, and you have a personality card that sometimes gives you a special ability. Yeah. But for the most part, you're just making the choice on the room card.
Yeah.
So player agency is bad, but it's just not that kind of game.
Yeah, and we'll get to theming, but it does match kind of the tone of the Saw movies and things like that. Mechanics wise, I said good. The mechanics flow pretty easily. You flip the card over, you do what the card says, you have an intervention or you don't. It's not a complicated game.
Yeah. I also said good, and I was almost tempted to say excellent.
That's fair.
Mainly because, again, this game is more like the would you rather style card games, but it's set to kind of a board game ish theme where you have your character on your own little character screen, and you have the rooms on a mat and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little more regimented than something like that. And the mechanics just work well in that theme of game.
For sure. Components wise, I said that they're good. There are some cards that are nice cards. I like the art of the cards. I know you do not.
Yeah, I don't care for the art.
They have like a little foam mat. They have some like themed dice. There's not a lot to the game, but what's there I think is reasonable and like what's expected.
Yeah, so. I put mixed. I could almost go with good. Again, I don't care for the art on it. The mat is cute, but it rolls up and so it never comes out flat. I did like the dice in that they're basically big white 6-sided dice with sort of blood not splattered on it, which I think would have been cooler, but like mixed in. So it's kind of like a marble white red kind of dice, which is cute. I don't care for the art. Nothing in it is super high quality. It's just fine. So I mine is mixed for
totally fair. Theming wise, I think we both said this. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever want to feel like you were stolen by Jigsaw and forced to do things just to survive? That's this game.
Yeah, I agree. It's excellent. The theming for the game is excellent.
Yeah.
The individual rooms have quite a bit of description with them, so it kind of tells this story as you're going through. Yep. There's quite a lot of cards, so there's a pretty good chance that every time you play is going to be a bit different.
Yeah.
The base game comes with 54, and this kind of goes into my components thing. We ran into there's 2 cards that are the exact same room, at least 2. We didn't go through the deck, so little not quite sure about that. But yeah, it feels like you're playing one of those torture porn kind of movies, and it works for that.
Yeah. Enjoyability. I said mixed. It is almost enjoyable for me. I feel like if the rooms weren't so damaging, that like if it was a little less torture-y, or like not even torture-y, like a little less damaging to your character, so there's more likely chance that you made it even close to the last room.
Yeah.
That would have been good. I also said mixed because like talking about the cards, they're very good at like describing horror aspects. There was like one room that was like catacombs and like spider sacks, and so like if you have any like weird like body horror or like creepy crawly stuff, like that is detailed in these very well.
This game is probably a box full of trigger warnings.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
And while I can't say that's fun for me, like I appreciate the artistry that is the narrative.
We said the theming was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I feel enjoyability for me is bad. And keep in mind, the enjoyability is how whether we enjoy it or not, whether you might enjoy it. But enjoyability for me is bad.
Yeah.
Some of the similar reasons you said, I love horror, but I'm not big on the gory side of horror. And like this game is about as gory as you can get without being like a movie, I guess. Yeah. For a board game, it's gory. You kind of
including the artwork.
Yeah. And the artwork's not.
It's not as gory as it could be.
It's not really, but when you look at like zombies and stuff from some of the other games we've played, it's not really worse than any of that.
Yeah.
But I think you started to kind of touch on it in a sense. We played a bunch of it plays 2 to 6. We played a number of games, just 2 of us. We played a few with 3. It does not play well at 2.
It does not.
And I think that's part of your problem is like, you're going to lose somebody by about the 3rd room with 2 players because there's only 2 people to take the damage.
Yeah.
This game in this I guess kind of just moves into my final thoughts is it scales up pretty good. 3 is about the minimum I'd play the game with. And even at 3, it doesn't play well. I think 4 is what you need. I think 5 or 6 makes it probably a pretty good game because then there's a lot of people to make choices and stuff. Some of the like personality cards have victory conditions on them that literally can't be done at 2 players.
Yeah.
And some of the item cards don't work very well. Some of the rooms really don't work very well. Like It really doesn't play good at 2, and it probably plays great at 5 or 6.
I'm sure.
Down. Again, take away it's gory. It's on the gory side of descriptions and theming and stuff that I don't care for. Ultimately, again, just kind of makes it a game that I don't care to play. If people wanted to pull it out, I'd play it. I can play it, but it's not one that I would choose to play. There's some expansions to the game.
Yeah.
The base box describes 3 of them, which we have one. I think looking at the Kickstarter, the current one, I think there's even a newer one on top of those. Yeah. It looked like the expansions add a decent amount of cards and stuff of rooms and personalities and things. So if you like the game, there's quite a bit for you to explore, which is really neat.
With my final thoughts, I too felt that 2 is not enough, minimum of 4. Because again, like the game is built to take people out. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, even if you die, you have a ghost action you can do with your character. So keep that in mind. So you're not taken out of the game, just you can't win the $10 million.
Well, you can still win. You still have a count as winning.
Yeah.
So
and as I had mentioned, like it's just a little too harsh. And I think that's like exacerbated that, like, for the most part, we've played it as 2 people. There's some of the rooms in the most recent game we played, like we got room after room of like you just roll roll
dice
to see if you get damage. Yeah. Having too many of those in a row kind of like also makes it a little harsh.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the horror doesn't last long. It plays so quick that like game. You're not going, I am going to lose this game for like 3 hours. Like you've probably died, and maybe 5 minutes later, the game is over.
It's real easy, even not enjoying the game, to go, well, we've played once, let's just go ahead and play.
Yeah, let's just play again. Yeah. And especially like once you're set up, it's just a matter of drawing new cards and going over. Yeah. So, I think in that concept that like the detriments of the game, because it's so short, it's not like I'm going to loathe this game. You're like, oh, somebody wants to play Grindhouse.
Yeah.
It's more like, it's not my favorite.
That's fine.
But we can break it out
twice, and that's only 40 minutes of my time.
Exactly.
At most. Yeah.
But I do think if you do like that kind of like torture porn, body gore, all those types of things, you might actually really like this game.
It's
really good for like that.
It sits in a weird spot for me of a game that I so don't enjoy, but would definitely recommend if somebody thought they at all liked the theming of the game.
10,000%. Yeah.
Certainly would endorse picking it up. I just don't care for it.
Understandable. Yeah. But if you like games like Trial by Trolley, in the sense that you're also like making choices and having to kill people,
making hard death choices.
Hako Ono, as you're trying to be like the last one to survive.
Sort of, yeah.
And then Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, this one isn't even really tongue in cheek.
No.
It isn't humorous. It plays into its horror theme, but like Cards Against Humanity definitely has kind of a I don't want to say gory, but definitely a unpleasantness to it sometimes. Yeah. And if you enjoy that kind of thing, you might enjoy the theming to this.
I mean, there are some pretty grotesque cards in Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, and like this plays so quickly and plays in a similar way that this, I think, would make a really good spot for a game group that needs just a short game at the end of a game night that is kind of a sociable kind of a game. I think it hits the same spot as Cards Against Humanity and like Trial by Trolley and those other card games.
But if you're intrigued by our review of this game, you can go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to hear more board game reviews, gamekeeper tips, tabletop DIYs, and even walkthroughs, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. And then if you want to see when we upload our next video, you can go ahead and hit the notification bell. So if there's nothing else, we'll see you next time.
Bye.